Hi there, and welcome back to the channel. So I've got the live mic on because I'm going to sing through. Let me turn that down a little bit. It's wanting to feed back. Must have the master too hot or the monitor too hot. But what I'm going to do is play this back, do like a test vocal, if I can get in the camera frame correctly, and set my marks. Luckily, a friend of the channel, Paul Knowles, showed me how to do that, how to set the marks, so that's really handy. So what I'm going to do, this song has a lot of cues. There's a lot of dead space of, where there's not a lot of vocals. So I'm going to put my marks down to save me some time. This song is not challenging to sing. There's 2 words that are challenging to sing at the end, and I think I can handle it. It's like, this is how I used to sing when I first started singing well, not when I first started singing. When I first started singing, I sang like choral stuff and like show theater, like I used to be at musical theater and things like that, so I could sing like that kind of thing. And where you sing from your chest big and you project big and you want your voice to be, your throat to be open and make the notes sound round and big. Rock singing is completely different because you figure out ways to manipulate your voice to sound a certain way to make it cool. So a lot of times you sing in an incorrect way, not from the diaphragm, but just, it's like phrasing stuff. But anyway, these marks are really helpful because it keeps you from wasting time. So let's just go through the tune. I'll show you all the vocal cues, and then we'll be able to put the marks down. Then I'm going to sing the main verse, which is not challenging, except for those 2 words I told you about at the end. And then tomorrow I will do the on the chorus, and any doubling or harmony type stuff, and just cleanup work. Unfortunately, the thing I hate about this particular song is because I was trying to do so many like notes that sustain, like I got quarter notes and whole notes and half notes that sort of sit in the air, or ideally people would be playing together and queuing up with each other and playing at the same time. I was doing it, take by take. If I knew how to get it more lined up digitally, I could like line it up better and make it line up better. But there's little moments where you can hear the drums get off and stuff like that. So I want to cover up those moments with something. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it won't sound too chaotic. There's a lot going on, drums everywhere, and just cues being missed, little cues. All right, so just see what happens. No stress on this one. So it starts with an intro. We'll get up to the intro point, and then I'll put the mark down, the first mark. Okay, so quick review. Vocal take. I'm in track 1, input 1. I'm coming from the Rain. So I have a Rain MS1B, which is a preamp, and I use that with this microphone. This is a large diaphragm condenser. It's an AKG P220, and it needs phantom power. It has to have it. This type of microphone has to have phantom power in order to operate correctly. And the Zoom's phantom power is weak. I don't use it, so I go to the Rain, run the phantom power there, back into the input 1 with the high Z off. I don't know why I had that on. High Z is off. My gain is at 10 o'clock, and my gain is at like 9 o'clock on the Rain. So I've put a little gain here, so it's a mix of the 2 preamps, mainly because I get better signal that way as far as playback goes while I'm doing the take too. That's a consideration. Now, for effect, I'm going to go to effect, and it's on tracks 1 and 2. And the algorithm is called dual mic. Dual mic, the patch, number 26, big shape. And it's important to make sure you have the input screens chosen as track 1 or 2, because I'm in track 1. If I were to record from another track, obviously with that, we'd make sure they would correspond. Okay, then you can hit edit by hitting the enter button, and you enter all the effects that are attached to this big shape algorithm, and that includes a compressor, and you can see the threshold and the levels and the ratio and the attack. Then you go to the mic pre, and you can see the tone, the levels. The low cut is at 150 hertz, which is pretty high. The bass, let's see, bass, middle. So I've done some settings here. I've increased the bass and I've increased the treble and left the middle, it's kind of like a smiley face EQ, where you push up the bass and the treble but leave the middle sort of, there's like a doubling effect that goes on, but it's very subtle. It just gives you a little extra sound. If you don't want to have a, if you don't want to double track, this gives you a little bit of that feel, but it's just a single voice, so it doesn't have that kind of exaggerated chorus tone to it. But it does give you a little more presence, like, you know, more vocal instead of super dry. Okay, so no reverb, no other effects besides the things, the compression, the limiting, and the sort of equalized tone of this particular patch. And I like it for vocals and snare drum. That's what I've gone back to every time. I've just gotten stuck on it. All right, so I'll start the song at the beginning. There's no marks yet. I'll stop at each mark just to let you know why I'm making a mark there. Let's see. Last little check. I'm going to go to pan EQs, check track 1. Everything is on 0 the way I want it. Flat, high, medium, lower 0, reverb send 0, chorus send 0, fader 100. That's important because I want unity gain. I want as much gain as I can get, but not as much gain as I can get. I want it to come in at the point where it's not pushing it. So at 100, everything is right. If we go past that, we get a hotter signal. If we go lower than that, we get a lesser signal. I want it to be a good, you know, solid signal that's not over amplified or distorted or under recorded, so that it doesn't have any impact and doesn't make the meter peg, you know, at that orange light. Stays in the low green lights. Okay. I'll just start the tune up and we'll make our marks. That way you can see kind of what I have in front of me as far as the laying it down goes.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2,
so we have full an intro. It goes around 2 times.
They were living drugstore cowboy lives. They stole just enough to get by. Hide on the bed, no surprise. Hide on the bed, full of lies. He's fast asleep. Fast asleep. She's fast asleep. Oh no.
It's all about timing. There's a lot of weird timing on this track. Just got to get it right or the mood's not going to be there.
Just enough to get high. Hide on the bed, televised. Gotta hide on the beds, full of lies. He's fast asleep. Asleep. Fast asleep. Oh no.
Alright, so this whole time I've been doing that, I went into a little trance and got some ideas. I'm going to change the word on, yeah, the hat. The hat on the bed is no surprise. Yeah, the hat on the bed tells, oh, darn, I just forgot the line. I had a word. Let's see, the hat
Hat on the bed, it's no surprise. Yeah, the hat on the bed, it's full of lies. Oh, okay. The hat on the bed, it's like a spy. Yeah, the hat on the bed, it's full of lies. Alright, so it's like a spy, full of lies, and I bet I have nothing to write with. So hopefully I'll remember that. But luckily I've got it on camera, so I can't forget. The beauty of capturing things on video. She is fast asleep. So I'm gonna go, but it's gonna probably step on the vocal here, so I'm not gonna try to sing it all at once. I'll do that tomorrow if I can get this a decent video captured today of this one. Then tomorrow I can do the fun stuff like that. Okay, let me make sure I've got this line right. The hat on the bed, it's like a spy. Yeah, the hat on the bed, it's full of lies. Okay. He's fast asleep. I keep saying he's fast asleep, but she's fast asleep. Alright, so the first cue we can go to. Shoot. Okay, hold on. Let me just. Okay, so far I have no marks. It's clear. It says 0, 0. So,
1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm going to put a mark right here because it's about to do the little drum turnaround and start the verse. So first mark goes here. Mark number 1 is at around 20 seconds. They were living drugstore cowboy lives. They're still just enough to get by. Hat on the bed, it's no surprise. Yeah, the hat on the bed, it's full of lies. He's fast asleep. Fast asleep. Fast asleep. Okay, now we're gonna have another two bar intro with a 2 times through, and then we'll make a next mark. Right here. Mark number 2. They were living TV baby lives. They still just enough to get by. And the hat on the bed, it's like a smile. Yeah, the hat on the bed, it's full of lies. She's fast asleep. Fast asleep. He's fast asleep. Oh no. Okay, now here's the solo. We obviously aren't going to sing on this. The next time I pick up and sing is on the chorus.
fast asleep. He's fast asleep. They're fast asleep. Oh no.
This goes through one full time. And then this is a couple of notes here top. Okay, so that's going to be the fourth mark, is right coming up right here. Put it down.
I was working really at times. Memories spin like a record in my mind. I can hear the bass calling me. I can hear the bass calling me.
Okay, so those are the...
I can hear.
I could even get that line tomorrow if it becomes an issue, which I'm not planning on it becoming an issue. I'm going to unplug this, plug in my computer in case I need it to do anything cleanup wise, in case the battery's about to die. Okay, now I've got our marks. Let's see if I can get one. This doesn't seem hard to me compared to some of the vocals I've had to do. Okay, so mark one. More than likely I'll be able to just sing this through, not having to like hit marks, and I'm going to hit the first mark so we can start 20 seconds later than we would ordinarily to sit here and wait for 20 seconds on camera just for the first cue. So instead it'll be a few seconds, and then if there's long gaps like the solo and things like that, I'm just going to pop it forward. Thanks to Paul Knowles, I don't have to waste so much time because now I know I use the marks. As far as singing goes, you know, always kind of try to breathe from the diaphragm, which means filling up the stomach. So like if I'm going to take the first breath to say, they were living drugstore cowboy lives. Right before it happens, I go, except I don't make noise on the mic, but I'm exaggerating to show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to fill up my stomach with air like a basketball. It's like, and it puffs out like you want your big old fat stomach sticking out. All right? And then as you start to sing, you're going to pull it in. And then just keep pulling that thing way up. And I learned in Pilates that you're going to pull it up towards the rib cage. That's how you get air. You like scoop this out, you know, like a watermelon ice cream scoop. Scoop this out, and even if you think you have no air left, if you keep pulling and scooping, it keeps coming out. You can hold a note for a long time and finish notes well. Like you really want to finish notes live, just keep pulling in. Even if you think you got nothing left, keep pulling in, and more than likely you won't crack or have that kind of crunchy finish. The note will stay clean. Alright, so here we go. I hate doing vocals. Alright, here we go. I'm going to fast forward to my first mark, which is at 27:03, like 20 and then 7:03 seconds. It's almost 21. Alright, so, and you can see this is a laid back vocal. It's kind of like a talky vocal, folky, and I was thinking that back then I was obsessed with Dylan, so it was kind of like a Dylan trip, but I think I'm singing it more like Gordon Lightfoot. I heard him the other day, and Dylan was a fan, and actually as I was driving here I heard him singing a song, and I was like, he's got the right kind of vocal timbre for a song like this. And he's a brilliant songwriter too, with some of those lyrics and stuff. Melodic phrases. The one about the highway, darn good. Okay, let me put this here. Alright, let's rock this. No potential noisemakers, air conditioner's not on. Let's do it.
They were living drugstore cowboy lives.
I can already tell that sucked. I was caught off guard. The mark, I might go back a little bit. I'm going to erase that mark. And so I'm going back a little bit and just getting a better mark. Boy, I'm confused now. Hold on 1 second here. I gotta just listen to the song, make sure I stopped it in the right spot. That's one time. Okay, I'm gonna stop it right there. It's like 18 instead of 20. It just gives me a little more time to get settled.
They were living drugstore cowboy lives, and they stole just enough to get by. Hat on the bed, it's no surprise.
Okay, everything was fine, but there's a little stumble right there, and I want to make sure I nail it to try to cover over the stumble. Started it while I was still talking. I want to cover up that little stumble.
They were living drugstore cowboy lives.
Messed up the very first word. It was like
They were living drugstore cowboy lives. They stole just enough to get by. Hat on the bed, it's no surprise. Yeah, and the hat on the bed, it's full of lies.
Okay, once again, it's trying to sing around little minefields, and I just want to.
They were living drugstore cowboy lives. They stole just enough to get by. And the hat on the bed, it's no surprise. Yeah, the hat on the bed, it's full of lies. He's fast asleep. Fast asleep. He's fast asleep. For now. They were living TV baby lives. They'd watch just enough to get high. Hat on the bed, it's no surprise.
Oh, it's like a. Okay, so that's what these marks are good for. I want to fix this line. I don't want to go back through and get into the mood of the verse. So I'm going to just hit that back button and do that second verse over.
They were living TV baby lives. They'd watch just enough to get by.
Just a little off. The other thing is that I always try to keep the tap water going so that the vocal cords stay fluid. Don't get dry.
They were living TV baby lives. They'd watch just enough to get high. And hide on the bed. It's like a spy. Yeah, they hide on the bed. It's full of lies. She's fast asleep. Fast asleep. She's fast asleep. For now.
Okay, now I'm going to fast forward past the solo. Darn it.
Fast asleep. She's fast asleep. She's fast asleep. Fast asleep. She's fast asleep. For now. The irony was working brilliant at times. Memories of it throw like rocket in my mind. I can hear the past calling me. I can hear the past calling me.
Okay, we'll do that part again, obviously. Maybe doing all this again, we'll see.
The irony was working brilliant at times. Memories of it burn like a record.
Memories of it spin like a record in my mind. The irony was working brilliant of it. The irony was working brilliant at times. Memories of it spin like a record in my mind. I can hear the past calling me. I can hear the past call to me.
The irony was working brilliant at times. Memories of it spin like a record in my mind. I can hear the past calling me.
Okay, this is challenging. This is going to be challenging. If I do it right, it'll be impressive, I think, perhaps.
I can hear.
This is kind of like the Kate Bush cover where you have a lot of words you're trying to jam into the phrasing gets jumbled, and then you have it's hard to get a good breath of air, so you're holding your breath for a long time. Okay, I realized that the camera died at some point. I don't know when it was. Hopefully most of this got but here is what I have so far. I think I'm going to do the first verse again.
They were living drugstore cowboy lives. They stole just enough to get by, and the hat on the bed, it's no surprise. Yeah, the hat on the bed, it's full of lies. He's fast asleep, fast asleep. He's fast asleep. For now.
Okay, I'm going to next mark.
TV baby lives. They watch just enough to get high. And the hat on the bed, it's like a spy. Yeah, the hat on the bed, it's full of lies. She's fast asleep. Fast asleep. She's fast asleep. From now on.
Okay, here's the solo. It goes to a chorus. Nothing's recorded. I'll have to fix that. But let's just hear the outro and hear how, if that any of that works.
I was working brilliant at times. Memories of it spin like a record in my mind. I can hear the past calling me. I can hear the past calling me.
You know, this mic has a tone on it that I just cannot live with right now. I can hear it and I can tell that this vocal will be pretty good if I do it correctly, but if I stick with this mic, I'm going to be sorry later. So I'm going to keel the phantom power off because I'm putting a ribbon on in its place and it does not like that. So this one's going to come off and we're going to grab this one. And I'm going to I'm going to just do all that over because I can do better now that I see what I'm up against. Alright, so we come here with the Cascade Fathead ribbon mic, replacing the condenser mic. Hopefully this thing will work. It won't work. I thought so. Where did I put these babies? Somewhere around here is the mounts for these. There it is. Duh. And there's another one sitting here somewhere. I need to find it because I'll be doing drums for Hell Yes soon. As soon as I get this song done, I'm switching to that one. And I'm excited for a change of pace. That's the first kind of like song that I've written that sounds like that song sounds. This just has to happen sometimes when you can tell something is going in the wrong direction. I could hear this weird, almost given up on using that mic for vocals now because of the weirdness that happens. It puts this like I don't know, maybe it's that effect setting, but it has this like bathroom tone, like this doesn't work. Alright, so here we go. There's no phantom power applied, so we're not going to cook the mic or anything like that. Choo. Now everything's going to be different because this mic has less gain. I might have to mess with my gain settings here. Yeah, 1, 2, yeah, 2, yeah. Yeah. Alright, so you definitely got to push this one up a bit. So we'll go up to like 11 on both. Yeah, now we're getting somewhere. Much better. It has a neutral, it doesn't have that extra tone on it.
I can hear the past calling me. I can feel the past calling me. I can hear the past calling me.
So I went to 11 on gain on each knob, the preamp and the channel strip. Okay, so let's go back to our first mark number 1. Let me just see how this sounds with this mic. Oh, and I need to kill this because I don't want that bleeding over. We can't have that running while we're doing a take, obviously. It'll sound terrible. Feedback and whatnot. Here we go.
They were living drugstore cowboy lives.
Okay, that's so much better. I'm going to undo that. That was a good moment, and I'm pushing to noon almost. Put that on there. Little adapter ring. I'm pushing it to noon on the gain.
Hide on the bed, it's no surprise.
Yeah, now it sounds clear. You don't have that extra, like, I don't know, it's almost like nasty reverb on it or something. Some extra tone.
They were living drugstore cowboy lives.
Sorry. I hear a train for a second. Or something. Big truck.
They were living drugstore cowboy lives. They stole just enough to get by. And hide on the bed, it's no surprise. Got the hide on the bed, it's full of lies. She's fast asleep. Fast asleep. She's fast asleep. For now.
I just feel like none of it was that great. It's not challenging, but it is. It always is. I don't know why I think it won't be challenging just because I don't have a bunch of super high notes to sing or like screaming or anything. Challenge here is like a phrasing challenge. Phrasing challenge and timing challenge just to make sure everything sounds.
She's fast asleep.
Okay, I need to turn that down. Turn down some of the guitars so I don't need the vocals so loud. I do not want to waste this vocal.
They were living drugstore cowboy lives.
I kept messing up the word lives.
They were living drugstore cowboy lives. They were living drugstore cowboy lives. And they stole just enough to get high.
Said hi instead of bye. Anyway, you can see the challenge per usual.
They were living drugstore cowboy lives. They stole just enough to get by, and the hide on the bed, it's full of lies. Yeah, the hide on the bed.
Head on the bed. It's no surprise. Wait, let me just hear back this verse. Okay, one other thing I'm noticing is the camera battery's dying, but I'm noticing the EQ sounds a little rolled off, so I'm going to take that bass down on the, I'm going to get the battery changed and take the bass down. Be right back. Okay, so confusion abounds. Sorry about this. Let's just check the time real quick. If my computer was charged up enough to tell me. Okay, yeah, it's 10:14 p.m. All right, so I'm going to go in on the effect and hit edit. So I went to effect, pushed the button, and it says on, off, on, algorithm, dual mic, number 26, big shape, track 1 and 2, edit. I'm going to hit edit, and then I'm going to hit the arrow till I get to the bass. I'm going to roll bass to 0. I'll keep the middle where it is. I'm going to push the treble to, say, 7. Now I'll just leave it on 5 and put the middle at 0. So maybe just a little extra treble. We'll see what that sounds like. Just need a little more cut. This is a woollier mic, so the bass was sounding thick.
I can hear the past calling me.
That's perfect. Let me see if adding the middle back in does anything. I'll go back to 2.
I can hear the past calling me.
Oh, I actually like the middle. Let me see if going to 5 works.
I can hear the past calling me.
So I got middle at 5, treble at 5, bass at 0, just to get the woolly, roll some of that wool off. All right, so now, essentially, I'm starting from the very beginning. New microphone, new attitude, new adjustment on the effect, and this might be it for the night. I'll get it, actually, the vocal done tomorrow. But hopefully this helps to see the process. It's not like anybody's waiting for me to get a vocal take. They're trying to figure out how to do your own, I'm assuming, and it just takes work. It's always trial and error, and like harder than I think it's going to be. That's the main thing that I always take away, is it's a lot more challenging than you would think it'll be, but rewarding. Hella rewarding. All right, let me go to Pan EQ and all the way over to 24 one more time, just to make sure we're at 100 there. Yes, should have done that from the very beginning, but luckily we are at the beginning. I'm erasing everything I've done so far. New microphone. They were living. Yeah, this sounds so right now. The other one sounded so wrong. I mean, not so wrong. It just has. I got to figure out how to dial out that sound, or just use it for snare and guitar and not for vocal, which is what's been happening lately.
They were living drugstore cowboy lives. They stole just enough to get by, and hide on the bed. It's no surprise.
Okay, it sucked. Like I said, I don't think I'm going to get anything tonight, but I'm going to go ahead and put the video up because this is day one. This is just what it is. It's not magic. There's no. It's not one of these channels where I edit out all the frustration and make it look like you just walk in and boom. Because I tried that at the beginning. I would just film the takes. I would try to get the takes. Like shoot the video of the takes and like make it more. Like it looked like I never had any issue or whatever. And then at some point, for starters, it's hard to turn the camera. You just kind of gotta start doing stuff. So that made it distracting. Like, oh, I can only wait. Is this the take? What and then also I realized that perhaps what would help people more is to see the struggle, so that when you struggle, you're not like, hey, when he's making it seem so easy, and now it's everything's so difficult. No, this is really what recording is like, especially when you're by yourself. On prosumer gear. Prosumer gear, where it's like pro plus consumer. I don't even know if this is prosumer. This is consumer gear, but I guess like a Tascam tape machine was prosumer. All right, here we go.
They were living drugstore cowboy lives. They stole just enough to get by and hide on the bed. It's no surprise. Yeah, and hide on the bed. It's full of lies.
I don't know, it just sounds like the guitar. I gotta make sure that I'm helping the song with the phrasing.
They were living drugstore cowboy lives. And they still just
hit a dry spot on my throat, and I'm out of water, so it's almost wrapped here.
They were living drugstore cowboy lives. They stole just enough to get by and hide on the bed. It's no surprise. Yeah, I'd hide on the bed, full of lies. She's fast asleep. Fastest.
I was liking everything before I cracked on the fast asleep.
Fast.
Hold on, let me see if I can figure out what's going on.
Fast asleep. Fast asleep. For now.
Gee whiz. I'm going to just do that whole chorus over because it just became a mess. I'm going to just go back to the... Okay, so I got a lot of work to do, and right now I'm not digging what I'm hearing. Is the camera off? Oh, so that's on. I'm not digging what I'm hearing with the sound of the vocal, so I'm going to mess around with, before I turn the camera off, I'm going to see if I can find a better algorithm. So we'll stay in dual mic, perhaps. Let's go back to first one. 0 0 VO VO.
They were living drugstore cowboy lives. They stole
I like this one better already, I think. Okay, let's see what the next one sounds like. One is VO VO2, maybe? VO VO2.
They were living drugstore cowboy lives.
Maybe VO VO1. Okay, let's see what happens when I sing the first line, just to see if I get more feels out of it.
They were living drugstore cowboy lives. There's still just enough to get by. And I hide on the bed. It's no surprise. Yeah, and I hide on the bed, full of lies. Fast asleep.
Okay, so that's nothing great, but I think I'm on the right path. Now, the next thing I'm going to check is going back to the condenser mic. And I know it seems like I'm flailing here, but I just like to experiment and get the exact right tone, because I can tell that the song will be good if the vocal is recorded correctly, which is almost always the case, but I can feel that something really cool could happen if I just get it exactly right, and I don't know exactly what right is yet. But I just don't feel comfortable with the microphone yet. It's not like, I'm not hearing anything that makes me just feel so confident. It feels more, I don't know, it's like this weird tone. I mean, this is not the best room in the world. There's a lot of metal and everything. Okay, here we go. Okay, and this one has to have Phantom. And probably need to bring the levels down because I cranked it for the ribbon, which has a lower gain. 2 2 2 2.
He's fast asleep.
Yeah, that sounds clearer and cleaner. Okay, so maybe it was just the effect, not the microphone. That would be. I'd like to get out of that sound. So let's just see if I can get the before I go home. Let's see if I can just get the next 15 minutes get these verses in.
They were living drugstore cowboy lives.
Ooh, now I'm there. Okay, now finally, after all this time, sorry for everyone who's waited to see what happens, but man, I'm there now. It's like everything's right. You can get the excitement together now because you're not fighting the vocal sound. If you're fighting the vocal sound, you can't get the feels. So we're past that point now, and we're into some magical realms, hopefully.
They were living drugstore cowboy lives. There's still just enough to get by. And hide on the bed. It's no surprise. Yeah, hide on the bed, full of lies. She's fast asleep. Fast asleep. Fast asleep. For now. They were living TV baby lives. They'd watch just enough to get high. And the hat on the bed, it's like a spy. Yeah, the hat on the bed, full of lies. She's fast asleep. Fast asleep. She's fast asleep. For now. She's fast asleep. Fast asleep. Fast asleep. For now. The irony was working brilliant at times. Memories of it spin like a record in my mind. I can hear the past call me. I can hear the past call me.
Okay, that's going to be the tough one. I'll probably do that little last bit tomorrow. Let's go back to that mark and just do that one more time. If I had a little more water, that would be good, because I could get that last.
I can hear. The irony was working brilliant at times. Memories of it run.
Whew, this is tricky. The irony was working brilliant at times.
The irony was working brilliant at times.
Couldn't remember the second line.
The irony was working brilliant at times. Memories of it spin like a record in my mind. I can hear the past call near.
Darn it. I gotta figure out how to do that.
I can.
Should I don't want a full voice, and I want to.
I can hear.
Maybe I just won't carry it so much. There you go.
The irony was working brilliant at times. Memories of you spin like mirrors in my mind.
Memories of you. I added in there, but it didn't work. It was a jam up.
The irony was working brilliant at times, and memories of you I could.
Gee whiz. Challenging. Sounds like a mess. I can't wait to see if I can mix it into...
Yeah, and he was working brilliant at times. Memories
Memories spin like a record in my mind.
Yeah, and he was working brilliant at times. Memories spin like a record in my mind. I can hear the bass calling me. I can hear the bass calling me.
Let's see if that sounded like anything. Okay, that sucked.
Yeah, and he was working brilliant at times. Memories spin like a record in my mind. I can hear the bass calling me. I can hear the bass calling me.
So I decided to just do it like a little shortened version. Let's just hear what this sounds like together.
Yeah, and he was working brilliant at times. Memories spin like a record in my mind. I can hear the bass calling me. I can hear the bass calling me.
Okay, so what I'm thinking of doing is just calling it a night, because you can see I've already had a struggle. It's just always a battle. But let's just hear what we have so far to see if anything is worth anything.
They were living drugstore cowboy lives.
Okay, the vocal's too hot, so it's no good. This this effect was hotter, a more direct effect. So, darn, that was a lot of work for nothing. Let's just see if I can get it again. Undo.
They were living drugstore cowboy lives.
Okay, I'm going to turn the...
They were living drugstore cowboy lives.
Okay, that's a good volume. Maybe just a tiny more. Tiny more.
They were living drugstore cowboy lives.
Darn it. That's what happens if you don't get a good breath of air in your diaphragm and you really pull back. It just dies on the vine immediately.
They were living drugstore cowboy lives. They stole just enough to get by, and they hide on the bed. Okay, so I'm toast, and I can tell that my voice is dry and I don't have any water. But I learned a lot tonight, and I've set a course. I know it seems like, oh man, what a bust! Came all the way out here and got nothing accomplished. But I feel like I did get something accomplished because I have a better vocal effect, the right microphone, the right tone, and it just takes this long to get it. I don't know what to say. I can't pretend that this is easier than it is. It's nothing but work. It's hard, and like you want to give up every time. Like part of why it takes me so long to get around to these vocals is because I'm just dreading it, dreading doing it. It sucks, you know. Open yourself up to scrutiny. You just the vocals when you find out if the song is even any good or not, you know. And right now I'm frustrated because I keep hearing all of the cacophonous like come downs, the fact that all the ones are not clean. But I think I'll get over that once I mix it. If not, I'm just going to record the entire song again. I won't do it right away, but I'll do it. I'll get the next one done and have the album completed. And if this thing keeps bugging me like this, I'm going to do this one again. Just because I'm tired of all those come downs not being like the bass, drum, guitar, everything coming down at once. A couple of them, it's like what Jeff Tomei, our friend, producer, and engineer, used to refer to as tumbling taters down the stairs, like a bag of potatoes going down the steps. Sounds like a mess instead of, you know, a syncopated sort of well-engineered, well-arranged arrangement. All right, so tomorrow, and it hopefully will be tomorrow unless it starts pouring rain again, because I don't have, I'm exposed to the outside. I'm hearing a resonant, like something in the room that I want to figure out a way to treat it with something to deaden it, because I hear a little something around these drums. Anyway, so tomorrow I'm going to just come back and redo it, or actually do it, finally get a good take that's usable, because right now, there's just, I'm going to undo that. There's really nothing there, but this whole experience was useful in order to get the technicals correct, because the vocals got to be right, obviously, you know, or the song is, you know, not even worth it. All right, next time.